high up in the foothills of the Alps near Sisteron and Gap, which is Monte Carlo rally territory, the team's official test driver, Lassi Lampi, took the car on a series of tests to evaluate various facets of the new car. There was no real choice but to build this car, as the Group A Lancer was just about at its full development limit. A World Rally car opens up the doors a little and allows more flexibility. And despite being the same engine unit, the car has already instantly improved in several areas. Mitsubishi has always seen rallying as the best form of marketing for their cars, so resisted the move to introduce the WRC when they were introduced in 1997, and continuing to opt for homologation of the Lancer, essentially a car that you can pop into a car showroom and buy in some form. A World Rally car allows alterations to suspension and an easier, more competition-friendly layout to the car, and without having to develop and sell road-going versions. A lot of the previous Lancer has been incorporated into the WRC. The value of being world champions is a great marketing asset, and with Group A cars starting to lose the competitive edge, the time to move was deemed to be now. So, with the good of the old and the good of the new, this then should be quite a car.
Yeah, a few things are different for sure. Like stability feels much better than old car on this tarmac track.
This is the tarmac version of the World Rally car. Gravel rallies like Finland require a completely different version, and that's what will come next.
After 3-4 weeks we will start working on gravel, and I expect that this car will be winning car on both surfaces.
Tommi Mäkinen currently leads the World Championship by 10 points from the focus of Colin McRae, with 6 scheduled rounds still remaining.
We obviously have a lot to learn with a new car, because we came here with many different options to try. And for the moment we are working on the new advantages that the new World Rally car should give to us, like now we have more front suspension travel and a little bit more rear suspension travel. We have also a different car balance with the engine move back. Then we now are exploring the setup of the car to get the best out of all these advantages. But so far it looks good, and we are moving step by step in a direction that makes the car better and better, and we are hoping to reach a good result by the end of the week.
At the time, Tommi Mäkinen was leading the championship by 10 points from the Ford Focus of Colin McRae, with 6 scheduled rounds still remaining.
This is a rally that Mäkinen likes. He's had 2 wins here in the last 4 years, but this year for San Remo, Mitsubishi launched their new Lancer Evolution World Rally car. The new car could decide whether Mäkinen can keep fighting for the championship, but its success or failure will also determine whether he stays or leaves Mitsubishi.
It would be nice to continue with them, of course, but of course it would be nice to see something else also. I think if I will continue another two years, I think it's last chance now to move somewhere if I want to do it.
This is the moment of truth for Tommi Mäkinen, the first stage for his new Mitsubishi World Rally car. No excuses now. But from the outside, all looked well. But inside, it soon became clear that a transmission problem was making the car very hard to drive. 11th fastest time, a very public disaster for the new car. Tommi Mäkinen also had trouble with his transmission, but his woes were caused by an electrical glitch. But the result was the same, lack of traction. Both championship leaders had lost over half a minute in 3 stages.
There is nobody who has a clear idea what is going on, what is wrong. I hope they can fix it, otherwise it's no point to continue, because car doesn't work at all like it should be working.
Like his teammate Tommi Mäkinen, Freddie Loix too had teething trouble with the transmission of his new Mitsubishi. Tommy Mäkinen was in the same situation as McRae. The pair was scrapping for 11th. But whatever his speed, driving with the four-time world champion is a spectacular experience. Watch what he has to contend with.
Tiukka serpo vasen, reikä soraa, ihan vähän liukas. Oikee vasen spoori ja pirun pitkä oikein nopea miinus auki. 15, serpo vasen, liukas paskaa.
Freddie likes his rally. He was still blighted by transmission problems. He was 13th. Just 2 more stages and Mäkinen will be out of his misery. But he didn't have to wait that long. The Finn banged a wheel, damaging it enough that his rally was over there and then.
3, lyhyt helppo oikein. 8 oikein, 10 pirun pitkä vasen nopea. Taas lähtee niin paljon pyörätä irti, että no se on parkissa siinä.
This had been a disastrous debut for Mitsubishi's new Lancer World Rally car.
Deep in the heart of England's countryside, Ford unveiled their latest contender, the Focus RS WRC03. The team have been working around the clock to ensure it's ready for its debut in New Zealand. The result, Ford's most technically advanced rally car ever.
The brief was quite simple from me. You have to make a car that's going to win on all events. I think really 80% of this car now is new. So in one sense it is almost like a brand new car.
The man behind the radical new look is technical director Christian Loriot. Who better to take you through the evolution?
This is the new front bumper, as the car is based on the American Focus to improve the aerodynamic. The bumper is to be 45mm longer, and it's studied to improve the front aerodynamic, downforce and cooling. As you can see, the new rear wing is very different to the old one. We could tell from looking at data that we needed to improve the car on the high-speed rally, and with this rear wing we're going to do exactly that. As you can see inside the car, it's all new as well. We pay a lot of attention to saving weight and putting the weight down. You can see there's completely new electronic with all the switch very light and low down, and the floor mounted pedal box as well to help reducing the weight and putting the weight low down. Okay, in the engine bay, as you can see, it's a completely different story as well. The most noticeable difference is the cooling package. This has been done mainly to improve the cooling efficiency, reduce the weight and put the weight low down. The other obvious change is the airbox. That has been done to improve the engine breathing efficiency. There are a lot of small changes as well, and one of them, for example, is the turbo. The turbo is a new turbo, but as well it's been positioned further back and further down, again to improve the weight distribution of the car.
This redistribution of the weight was vital in achieving a lower centre of gravity to balance the handling of the car at high speeds.
This is enough for the theory. Now let's see what the driver thinks of it. Okay then, let's go for one run, see what you think of it.
Once again, the emphasis has been on finding a lower centre of gravity for greater stability at high speeds.
Right, good. So you see some difference in the balance of the car? Yes, very good balance. Do you think the traction is improved?
Traction is good, the suspension is just alright. The stability, the fast corner is very good.
I think the improved suspension travel at the back should help the rear not to pick up in the air.
Testing has already proved the new car is quicker, but with their young drivers' limited experience in New Zealand, the next round will certainly be Ford's hardest test yet.
Okay,
Thank you, Christian, for the new car. See you in New Zealand.
we'll see how it goes. Thanks, Francois.
Ford's new state-of-the-art Focus will make his eagerly awaited competition debut here. It certainly looks the part and promises to give that extra performance that might just get Marco Martin and Francois Duval on top of the podium.
Also looking for a good result are Ford's Marco Martin and Francois Duval. This weekend is the first outing of their new car, the Ford Focus RS03. It's not like any other car in the WRC.
I think the name Focus is the only thing carried over. The rest is almost new.
Left, right, 3 minus, here.
I can't wait the rally to start.
It's really a lot more complicated than it sounds.
It is that, and also they had a problem with the switch. It was a two-way switch, which the drivers didn't realize.
Now here's Marco Martin getting ready to give the Ford Focus his first competitive outing. How much better is this car, Nicky?
It's 80% different to what it was. I mean, it is dramatically better than the old car. You can see that in the performance, and it looks totally different and really radical. Set of chrome rims here, and we'd have some serious bling.
Oh, you're learning.
Absolutely.
I like that. Of course, we got to flame it out, though. We need flames on the car.
Now, the car's worked well. The team have worked well to even get it here, and all they want is a good result.
Marco, second overall. Verdict on the new car.
Yeah, not bad. It looks quite good at the moment. Unfortunately, on the second and third stage, we had a bit too much rain, and we tried to make sure we come to the finish because we had one really bad aquaplaning moment, and then we thought it's no point to take too many risks because the car feels good when it's good conditions. So we'll just have to sort of pace ourselves a little bit and understand everything a bit more.
Marco Martin's still enjoying a great run. His performance here in the new cars really boosted the team. However, his second place is in danger.
Well, they're struggling all the way down in 5th place. Ford's Francois Duval on board with him. You can see some of the radical changes to the interior of the car, Nicky.
Yeah, it's totally unrecognizable. Everything's now put down on the floor pan. But if you have a look here, can you see how he's actually used the using the gear stick instead of the electronic paddle? He'd run into hydraulic problems. They had to revert to a manual gear change, and you can see how well it's working.
Well, we're also getting a chance to see how well Francois Duval is working. And Nicky, he is the second driver on the team behind Marco Martin. Is he as good, or is there a big gap between the two?
There's a big gap between the two, but the young guy's only in his probably 3rd year of WRC and 1st year really as a proper team driver.
What's the biggest difference between him this year and from what you saw of him last year?
Well, he's out gaining experience. The team have turned around to him, or Malcolm has said to him, listen, I just want you to get out, get experience and get the car at the finish. That's exactly what he's doing.
Back to service, and Ford are delighted with the way the rally's going.
It's really gone exceptionally well if you think of the level of experience that Marco's got in this event, plus the road position that he's running. I think it's remarkable. I mean, there's 2 of those stages, for instance, that in the first 5 that he's never done before as well. So I think it's a great lift for the whole team.
Here comes Marco Martin on a charge. What a debut so far for the state-of-the-art brand new Focus.
Francois Duval picked up a time penalty for leaving service late. Mechanics had to work hard to repair his gearbox problems, but now his hydraulic system is in trouble, and he's down in 16th. Between his Ford and the Subaru, we've seen these two drivers battle it out so many times. Every time it's great to watch. We can expect more here in New Zealand.
The Focus has benefited by having American spec front bumpers, but with modified air vents at the front.
Up until Turkey, the Ford Focus rally car was a car that I knew very, very well. But here in New Zealand, they're launching the new evolution of the Focus. It's probably the most radical looking thing out there, and we've got the exclusive chance to have a look at it. From the massive rear spoiler giving extra downforce at high speed, improving the grip on the rear end. But the biggest difference is at the front, with a new extended front bumper, extra cooling ducts, but it's the extra downforce at the front that's also dramatically been improved. One of the problems with last year's car was the weight distribution. There was too much weight at the front. This has been worked on dramatically. But they've also lowered the center of gravity. For this work, we can see on the inside. Let's just go and take a look. I should be very familiar with the inside of this car, but looking round it, everything is so totally different. I think from the co-driver's point of view, we're probably not sat any lower, but we're definitely sitting a lot further back, in line almost with this door pillar. The trip meter, which used to be housed up on the dash, is now lowered right down onto the tunnel. The switches as well have moved from the dash, again down onto the tunnel, lowering the centre of gravity. This is also new, and it's totally automated. There's no fuses, it's all done by computer. Let's go and have a look what the changes are like over on the driver's side. From the driver's point of view, he is also sat right the way back, again getting the weight further back to where they wanted it last year. The steering has definitely come a long way forward. One thing that's very ingenious, where the Peugeot has an extra gear stick to back them up, they've actually used the handbrake with an extra rod as the backup in case the electronic change fails. That's really clever. Also, I notice where normal pedals actually hinge and pivot at the top, the weight is quite high up. Here they've turned it around so the actual brake pedals, throttle pedals, hinge from the floor, thus getting the weight lower down and lowering the centre of gravity. The majority of the weight is under the bonnet. Let's see exactly what they've done here. The most visible thing is where they've moved the radiators and the fans. Although it's very difficult to appreciate, the engine and all its ancillaries are actually 10% lighter than the old car. With so many innovations in this car, for Marco Martin and Ford Motor Company, it's going to be a very interesting weekend.
Nicky, one other thing that's kind of interesting about Ford this year is they've switched to the Michelin tires from Pirelli, also to try to get themselves closer to their competition. How much of a factor has that been this year?
I think it's going to be more of a factor on the tarmac events where normally Pirelli have struggled a little.
Now trying to catch Martin's focus is the Subaru of Petter Solberg.
The car's been fantastic, really. It's great fun to drive and no problems at all, and they definitely lost less time than we expected on the first day because they're fourth on the road and we expected to lose time, but it's not bad.
Back at service, it's a hive of activity over at the Ford garage as the mechanics change the hydraulic system on Marco Martin's Focus. They have just 20 minutes to complete the task. Watch the clock. 18 minutes and 14 seconds, mission accomplished. Here's Marco Martin out of service and determined to hold on to second place. Nerves are on edge as he waits to see if the service repairs have been successful. But the young Estonian is flying and goes quickest on both stages 11 and 12.
Marco Martin is unaware of Solberg's problems. He's having a great run, and so far the new car has been flawless.
150.
But then just 2 miles into the stage, he had to change to the manual gear shift system, which isn't as efficient as the electronic one.
80, 6 minus left over crest.
To make matters worse, he's got 34 miles of the stage yet to go.
24 left.
Marco will hold on to second, but there's going to be a lot of work for the Ford mechanics back at service.
Clear as stage, we've had manual gear change for 55 kilometers and no diffs.
Okay, copy B.
1 minute. Did you make it out in time?
We changed about 80% of the system yesterday, and we dropped 2 minutes penalty. But the boys did a sort of another session last night, practice run at the whole job. So we're quite confident that hopefully now this time we can do the whole job and also do it in the time scale as well.
The confidence might be high, but it looks like a nervous Marco Martin who is watching. The Estonian wants to hold on to that second place. The work continues over at Ford while team boss Malcolm Wilson reflects.
These problems aside, you must be very happy with the performance of the new Focus.
I'm absolutely delighted. I think, you know, Christian and his team have done an incredible job, and to come here and be this competitive still 9 second with the amount of experience that Marco's got on this event, I mean, I think it's incredible.
A tremendous job by the Ford mechanics. Marco's out on time, Nicky.
Yeah, great job. They'd learned from the problems Duval had yesterday. They've replaced all hydraulics and all the electronics with the car.
Marco Martin's out of the service and determined to hold on to his second place. Nerves on edge, though, as he waits to see if the service repairs have been successful. How tricky is that when you first go out after major repairs like that?
Oh, the car is fixed. As long as he's happy with it on the road section, he's up for the fight.
Well, we know what Richard has run. Marco wants to match it.
Taking time out of Richard on the last two stages. Are you confident you can keep him behind you?
Yeah, it seems like everything's working all right at the moment, so should be okay.
So obviously no gremlins now, they're all fixed at the last service.
Sorry?
There's no problems with the car now, they're all fixed in the last service.
Yeah, our mechanics did a good job on last service, no time penalties, and car is perfect again, so it's good.
Marco Martin really has a Ford humming along, aiming for his third consecutive stage win.
150 crest and easy left. 50 crest. 130 crest down.
At the end of the stage, it's confirmed he is the fastest so far. Now, if all goes according to plan for Marco Martin, he will start the final day of the rally in second.
E6 minus
on board now with Marco.
Just stopped.
I have to get out. I have to get out with an arrow. That's a dangerous place to stop.
We were having good fun, so I wanted to do more stages, but okay, at least we showed that our new car is very competitive, and we still need to sort out some problems, but I'm sure the future looks good.
Marco Martin's unfortunate exit means Ford's campaign is now in the hands of Francois Duval. At just 22, he's the youngest full-time driver in the WRC, and every rally is a big part of his learning curve. Ford's certainly going to be pleased if he finishes this as a good test for him.
And now to the winner of the Inmarsat Star of the Rally Award, chosen by Nicky Grist. With a hat-trick of stage wins, the radically new Ford Focus has been a revelation in the hands of Marco Martin. Therefore, the award goes to Christian Loriot, Technical Director of Ford Rally Sport, and his team of engineers, who accept the trophy and a cheque for $5,000 to give to their favourite charity. Deutschland also sees the debut of the SKODA FABIA. With a shorter wheelbase than its predecessor, the Octavia, it should be more suitable to rallies such as this. Didier Auriol has won on all surfaces in his career. How does he rate the FABIA's chances?
We try to attack when everything works well and see what is the potential of the car today. And after that, it's very interesting because we know the gap we need to improve for the future.
These are exciting times for SKODA fans, with the FABIA making its long-awaited debut. But the biggest debut of the weekend is the eagerly awaited SKODA FABIA. Only 15 days of testing have been completed, so this rally is all about development. But already, SKODA's baby has teething problems. Something wrong with the anti-lag system. The throttle won't respond quickly enough for Tony Gardemeister.
If you thought Skodas were big and built like tanks, well, not anymore. All eyes are on the new FABIA as it makes its debut in front of millions of fans. Behind the wheel, 94 world champion Didier Auriol, and this man, Tony Gardemeister. Well, we know it's smaller and more nimble than the Octavia, but is it faster? The clock's to Marco Martin. And already Gardemeister's slower, but only 14 seconds off the pace. Not bad for a brand new car.
The SKODA fans are out in force, hoping to catch a glimpse of the brand new FABIA. But Tony Gardemeister's got problems as well. He suffers 2 punctures and the fins off the pace. But the main priority for the team is development, and that means as much stage time as possible. 94 world champ and SKODA teammate Didier Auriol is also aiming to get to the end of the rally.
Tony, 4 stages completed now. What's your verdict on the car?
I start to feel better and better for sure on the car and like this. And last stages was quite okay. For sure there was a bit slippy, but there was more fast and like this, and they suit much better for the car for me.
What have you learned today about the FABIA?
Yeah, we have learned that there's still some work to do, but at least the car shows the potential, and Tony's car is running without problems so far.
Now, you've already seen the SKODA FABIA out on the stages, but now I've got the chance to show you Didier Auriol's car in a lot closer fashion. It looks totally different, but on the mechanical side, the engine is basically the same, but they've lightened the crankshaft, again to lower the center of gravity at the front end. But also the transmissions are different on these cars. Tony Gardemeister is running some totally new system, which they're keeping secret, but he's using the standard manual shift. Didier Auriol's using the old Octavia transmission, but with the paddle change on the steering wheel. Now, the cooling system has changed on this car. They're using split airflow system, very similar to what we find on the Ford Focus. Now, SKODA is the only other team in the World Rally Championship that uses the Rega suspension, the fantastic Rega suspension as fitted to the Ford Focus. In this car, they've managed to get extra bump travel, which is really going to help them on the rougher gravel rallies. But the one thing that's most noticeable on the outside is the size of this car. It's 20 inches shorter than the Octavia, and the wheels are now positioned on each corner. Gone are the old days of throwing in the Octavia. This car, in time, is going to turn that much easier. But of course, the one thing that's also visible is this massive spoiler on the rear. It's going to help pick up more traction by giving more downforce on the rear of the car. Now, this is the exterior. Let's have a look on the inside. Every new rally car we see is moving on with totally new innovations, and the new FABIA is just one of those cars. There's carbon fibre everywhere in here to lighten the car's weight. The seating positions, here we're sat much further back than we are in any other car, virtually smack in the centre of the car, but also a lot lower down, lowering the centre of gravity. From this position, I have got a job to see the road ahead of me. But you know, winning rallies and being fast in rallying is not just about brute force and horsepower. Now there's so many other little intricacies to help improve the performance of cars. Now, SKODA are not singing their praises just yet. They've only done 15 days of testing for this rally alone. They've got a long way to go, but they're just looking at this rally just to pick up information and look to the future.
It's the sole remaining new SKODA FABIA, but it's not a great debut for the car. Didier Auriol is already out, and here Tony Gardemeister suffers from taking too hard a tyre. He's 15th overall.
Following the retirement of his SKODA teammate Didier Auriol, Tony Gardemeister just wants to finish this event. Means more testing time for the brand new FABIA. Unfortunately, he breaks the drive shaft and smoke from his tires getting into the car. He stops to make the necessary repairs, but loses 10 minutes. The question is, can he make it back to the safety of service?
It's Tony Gardemeister flying through the air. What an incredible jump. Well, something's happened to the SKODA. That was an incredible jar. Something has happened to the back of the car. And look, he pitches off into the side. The suspension must have collapsed on that landing. And look at that, there's now smoke inside the SKODA. Well, hardly surprisingly, Gardemeister pulls over to see what damage has been done. Already out of the rally is his teammate Didier Auriol. Gardemeister takes a look at the rear wheel, gets back in, puts it into gear, and sets off again. But the damage is terminal. Gardemeister is shortly going to go out of the rally.
After breaking his drive shaft and losing 10 minutes on roadside repairs, Gardemeister makes it back to service, but the mechanics have a lot of work to do.
Tony Gardemeister's still in trouble. In the second run through Erzweiler, he's going very slowly indeed. Although he makes it into the next stage, the Finn has no choice but to retire.
WRC チャンプ PG アンダーソン。現在開発中のニューマシン、一番の注目点はリアサス。ベース車両のフルモデルチェンジでトレーリングアーム式となった。アンダーソンは早速そのハンドリングを高く評価した。そしてチャンピオン取りの相棒については。
Not an easy question, but as always when you're driving a car, you want to have the best setup on the car, and to have the best setup, you must have good engineers and good mechanics to know what they are doing, and for sure the driver must know what he is doing as well to change the parts of the car.
続いてお約束のこの質問。
Drive as much in the car as you can, so you know exactly how the car is working and you can handle all the problems. And then for sure the biggest problem is to find the money to drive the car, and if you have the money and a little bit of luck, then you just keep on going as fast as you can, and that's the way to do it.
P.G. Andersson ställer upp med en ny bil, Suzuki Swift. Hur känns den?
Ja, bilen känns bra, men sträckan är ju precis skrot, så det är ju inte mycket att åka på. Är det stor skillnad mellan den här och din gamla? Ja, det tycker jag nog. Den här hänger ju i hjulspåren mycket bättre och styr ju in riktigt. Det sladdar ju inte bara. Kan du köra annorlunda då? Jag måste försöka lägga om stilen lite och gå mer understyrt in i svängen istället för att tjäna en tid där man kan göra med.
P.G. Andersson ligger i toppen av junior-VM-tabellen och utköper en strid med Meek och Guy Wilkes.
Premiär med nya bilen är alldeles i starten på den första sträckan. PG har en bra början, han tappar lite till sin värsta konkurrent Chris Meek.
Titta nu PG tar den här kurvan, ingen vidare skulle jag vilja säga.
Han pratar med PG, han säger att jag missar bromspunkten lite grann och det ser klumpigt ut, men man ser inte den här hårnålen när man går in i vänstersvängen före, så att det här är lätt gjort. Och han är inte ensam om att göra så här.
Och så hans konkurrent Guy Wilkes, samma bil, samma kurva, lite annorlunda kurvteknik. Men för fort går det just här. Och då gör Wilkes detta. Han använder sig av det aviga uppstället och fullföljer där och siktar på fotograf som duckar om en handbromsvändande upp och kommer hyfsat väl igång. Och vi åker med P.G. Andersson.
Det är lite längre fram på den sträckan vi nyss var på sträcka 5. Här är det hoppet som de hade problem med ryggen. VRC-förarna. Nu åker vi med en liten bit till. Pass på här nu. En lång högersväng upp över ett krön. Titta nu.
Är det okej? Är det okej? Ja, vi mår bra, det är ingen fara med oss, men bilen är väl sämre med, så det är över från den här gången tyvärr. Ja, det var ju inte bra, jag skulle behövt 10 poäng här och tagit ett par på Meek för att det skulle se riktigt bra ut, men nu är det bara att hoppas på tur att de andra har otur.
Guy Wilkes had his fair share of problems. He was forced to change a wheel that had buckled very early on in the rally. But he currently lies in third position, and if he can stay there, he'll be leading the Junior Championship as we leave Finland.
It's a long way until the end of this rally, believe me. It's we will be leading the championship, but Chris Mick and Danny Soto will have a rally in hand, because this year we drop a rally, so it's not over by no means.
The debut of the new Subaru IMPREZA. This was unveiled on Wednesday night. A new shape, a new livery. But will it bring a return to the glory days for Subaru? We'll hear more about this car later in the programme. Back at the start line, it's the beginning of a new era for Subaru. Chris Atkinson is off into stage one. The first chance to watch this striking new car driven in anger. Expecting a big step up in performance, but this weekend will be all about their drivers learning the characteristics of this new machine. So far so good for Chris. It's a promising start for the latest evolution. We've already seen Chris Atkinson, who's completed the stage, Subaru's former world champion, Solberg. He's been waiting a long time for this new car, and we'll soon get an idea how much promise this new machine has. That's a pretty good start straight out the box, just 9.3 seconds slower than Lambola.
Penny, you've waited for this day for quite a while. A new car, fifth fastest over the first stage. Happy?
Yeah, it's okay. No problem at all. And just trying to get everything right and get to the rhythm. And it's still things to improve, definitely, but it's going well.
Debut in the championship in 1993, the Subaru IMPREZA has become a WRC icon. Rally means Subaru, and Subaru means rally. It's had many ups, 3 manufacturers' championships, 3 drivers' titles, 46 WRC wins. And a few downs along the way as well.
Right minus titles keep in, 30. Yep, the 2! For the steering? Yeah. It's in the back.
But what has never changed is that traditional saloon shape. But not anymore. Bring on the hatchback. Here's Chris Atkinson to tell us more.
Hi everyone, here we are with a new car. It's a completely new shape for us. It's based on a 5-door hatch. The old car was a sedan. Obviously with the hatch and the new streamlined shape, it's a lot more aerodynamic, which is good for the stages, good for the high-speed section. Got a new rear wing, which fits in with the hatch design, and hopefully they'll give us extra speed. The car's also got a completely new livery with the yellow completely gone now. We've got a black on the back with silver blending into the side. I reckon it looks really cool. It also flows onto the the side of the car with a completely new design. This is based on the corporate logo. So just Subaru down the side, no more yellow in the S, and completely new back to go with a new car, which I reckon looks sweet. A few things under the bonnet have changed as well, not just the outside. Engine's very similar, it's always been strong in the Subaru, so that will continue. We've got a new gearbox, new suspension, and completely new weight distribution, which means lower centre of gravity, better balance, and a better handling car. Hopefully that works well for steering grease.
It's probably the most difficult event of the year, but we're not frightened of challenges. And you know, let's not forget, the Subaru Impreza is the most successful rally car of modern time. It's got more wins behind it than any other car. So let's hope this car follows that tradition. I'm very confident it will do.
It's still a long way to go with to get it absolutely up there 100%, but we are doing really well to come out with the car so early as we have done. Now we just have to work further with the car to get it back for winning.
Here's Petter Solberg now. Whoa, and a very close call there, a double hit. He's got away with that, but he'll need to keep the new car in one piece while he gets used to it. Petter continues to lead the charge for Subaru despite that brush with disaster. 6th fastest on stage 2 in his 5th position. But over at Subaru, it's been a solid morning for the new car, as the mechanics now get a chance to familiarise themselves with the new Impreza. On to the final 3 stages of the day, and Petter Solberg, currently up in 5th, has got himself involved in a battle for position with his brother Henning. Petter is torn between the need to keep the car on the road and gain valuable experience with the new Impreza and the power of sibling rivalry. Henning gets ahead of his younger brother on stage 5, only for Petter to fight back again on the following test. It's all still very tight though. Chris Atkinson has slowly drifted back to 8th after a strong early start. But that same rock near the finish of stage 6 has struck again. It's been missed by several drivers in the recce, it seems. And as with Hirvonen and Latvala, it's broken Chris's suspension. So it looks like it could be a frustrating end to his day too. Let's take another look from onboard Chris's car. There on the right, you can see the rock that's done all the damage. It looks fairly innocuous, but that was the impact, and that's what caused the damage. Further back, Petter Solberg's in a fight for 3rd with his brother Henning. Petter, in the first outing for the new shape Impreza, began stage 8 just 6.9 seconds ahead of his older sibling. Solberg now, he's bearing down on the finish boards. Let's see if he can make any inroads to Sordo's advantage. Yes, 4.5 seconds quicker. Solberg begins to edge closer to the man in 2nd and consolidates his hold on 3rd. The new hatchback Subaru Impreza is working faultlessly so far. Once again, Petter Solberg is fighting at the sharp end. With Loeb losing over half a minute with that puncture, Petter's close to within 20 seconds of the world champion on stage 9. And in stage 10, that's causing problems for Petter Solberg. The Norwegian's attacking hard to keep the pressure on the leading Citroen, but towards the end of the stage, he gets caught in the dust trail of the ailing Hirvonen. Really struggling for visibility, Petter loses around 10 seconds. And Miko is straight over to apologise after the stage. It could also get even worse for Solberg. Petter Solberg has also made up a lot of time on the Spaniard. It's now less than 26 seconds between the top 3. It's been a fine day's driving from Subaru's number 1. Chris Atkinson, meanwhile, has begun to show he was getting to grips with the new Subaru Impreza after a steady day 1. He was 4th fastest on stage 8, but immediately after the test, a broken wire in the car's main control panel prevented the engine restarting and ended the Australian's day. This technical problem aside, though, Subaru has shown plenty of potential. incredible run of bad luck that stretched back the best part of 2 seasons, Peter Solberg is finally on course for another podium place. But so far, the new Impreza has come through the worst of the Greek wilderness with flying colours. Chris Atkinson is driving under the Super Rally restart rules today, and with nothing to lose, he's begun to attack the new Impreza. He claimed the car's first scratch time in stage 14, but the euphoria was short-lived. A collision with a rock in the following test ended his rally for good. Solberg will no doubt have sympathy for his brother Henning's frustration. Their dream of sharing the podium is over. But Petter still has a job to do, and he continues his policy of a steady but cautious approach in these last 2 long stages. With over a minute between the 2 drivers overall, their race on the Super Special will be for pride only. For very different reasons, the 2 men will be focused on getting over that finish line. Petter's been waiting a long time for this new shape Impreza, and by coming through the toughest event on the calendar with barely a scratch on it, it was certainly worth the wait. While once again, despite an early challenge from his teammate SKODA and Ford's Yannis Rattler, Sebastian Loeb has taken the ball on and survived the pitfalls of the Acropolis with consummate ease. It's performances like this that win championships. And there's delight back at the Subaru camp for Solberg's runner-up spot. A job well done for both Sebastian and Petter.
Petter, end of Rally Greece. It's the debut of the new car, and it could have only gone one place better. Brilliant weekend.
I'm overwhelmed, honestly. You know, I'm just so pleased that the new Impreza have gone so perfect and no problem through the whole rally. Guys and the team and everybody have done a brilliant job, and the future for Subaru looks great now.
Diku Mori, president of Subaru's parent company, Fuji Heavy Industries, accepted the Abu Dhabi Spirit of the Rally Award in recognition of the new car's impressive debut.
We've learned a lot of lessons about the car, about the detail things that we need to improve upon. It's still a very new car, and you never stop learning, but the more so in the early rallies. So the great thing now is we've got this rally, then we've got Turkey in 2 weeks' time, then we've got a big break for the summer before we go to Finland. That break in the summer will allow us to address some of the issues we believe will improve the performance and further reliability on the car.
Är det okej?